since was a bit great message, since I must be taking the dream to the because I do as every time I sit at my free time and yeah. So we're on this now. So I guess you need three part my roommate figure course because Remy, boy woman first did my video on this, so another video is by him, of course. So this one has two parts of it, and I think some of these one women's video, but I just want so we have to put parts to this. And that's all I have for that's all it is out for this stream. And yeah, remember this Wednesday, my single, y'all. Did I mean my last thing before then? I don't know. I was feeling tired, so yeah, that might mean if I'm falling asleep during this stream, guys. Normally tired and stuff. So yeah, so we have this. Geez, good. That guy has nice guys. Jeez. But this one and then this one. Right. Let me turn this up. And yeah, let's go.
After seeing this dude on TikTok completely miss the point of CCR's Fortunate Son and then getting a recommendation for this kind of topic, today we're going to talk about songs that are misunderstood. Whether people think they mean one thing but they really mean another, or they don't feel like there's anything to analyze at all but there is some hidden message in there, I'm going to go through and list a bunch of the most significant examples in music history. Starting off with Fortunate Son by CCR, Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen, This Land Is Your Land by Woody Guthrie, and any of these tracks that people somehow think are patriotic celebrations of the United States. I hate to break it to you, but they're not. Fortunate Son is a protest song rejecting the Vietnam War, and specifically it's about how young, helpless Americans get thrown into senseless war.
I love Fortunate Son. What's on Guitar Hero?
It's about the struggles of a working class Vietnam veteran after they return home. This thing is oozing with sarcastic patriotism that tens of millions of people across the country definitely don't comprehend. Woody Guthrie wrote This Land Is Your Land in 1940 after hearing God Bless America on the radio over and over. He wanted to critique private property and economic disparity in the U.S., and that is very clear in his original lyrics.
And I'm talking about it's not by American Toys, in case you were wondering.
Took out a couple of the harder verses because he was scared that Joseph McCarthy would persecute him for being a communist. You can still see Guthrie's politics in the version that got recorded, and this is basically used as a backup for the national anthem, and that is tragically ironic.
This was made
Speaking of communism, we can talk about arguably the most famous song ever made, John Lennon's Imagine.
Of course, Imagine by John Lennon.
That's exactly what Lennon wanted people to think. He was quoted as saying Imagine is virtually the Communist Manifesto, but he sugarcoated everything because he knew that's how his message would get out to as many people as possible. Instead of being super direct and
that's a song, I'm just saying.
More palatable and
that song's actually good.
Closing Time by Semisonic is one of my favorite examples of a song being misunderstood. You've heard it time and time again, and you're saying to me, okay, this has to be about getting kicked out of the bar when it's late at night, right? Nope, it's about the birth of the lead singer's child.
Oh no.
Collins being about
that's how Phil Collins, how I feel.
Was made famous by Eminem Stan, but that's not what the song was about. As Phil explained to Jimmy Fallon in a 2016 interview, this incredibly famous song was an improvised rant about his divorce. Phil was in an emotional place, very clearly bitter, and he made up most of the lyrics off the top of his head during a studio session. Total Eclipse of the Heart by Bonnie Tyler might seem like the average song about love and love lost, but boy is that not the case. Songwriter Jim Steinman wrote this track for Nosferatu the Musical, and yes, it's a love song about vampires. This was the original title.
Yeah,
now you know why. While Royals by Lorde sounds like it's about materialism, and that is the true meaning behind the song, there's a story behind the title that I doubt many people know. She was flipping through an old National Geographic magazine from the 70s, saw this picture of Kansas City Royals icon George Brett being swarmed by fans, and she liked the word on his jersey. In the end, the photo does play with the idea of status, and you can certainly tie that into the lyrics of the song, but really, Lorde just saw the word Royals and wanted to throw it into the track that she was writing. Who Let the Dogs Out by Baha Men is another one of my personal favorite stories. I'm guessing most of you haven't even given this one a thought, and if you were going to tell me what it's about, you'd say somebody let the dogs out, but this is actually a feminist protest song that is denouncing catcalling.
Yeah, catcalling, yeah. Y'all get it now, think about it. Who let the dogs out? What, if they let dogs out? Yeah. That's clever. That's absolutely clever. Like, if you really think about it. I like to say the word, but you know what it means. I'll probably say it, but no, this is on my stream.
Well, the party was nice, the party was pumping, and everybody having a ball until the fellas started name calling and the girls respond to the call. I heard a woman shout, Good Riddance Time of Your Life by Green Day is basically known
as I'm probably Bill Armstrong. I'm not so sorry on Quincy Bickley. It's moved to Bill Armstrong, but no, I got them confused.
And I think that context has morphed everybody's idea of what the song is actually about. The tone of the track is pretty hopeful and uplifting. You combine that with the graduation setting, and everybody thinks it's about transitioning from one place to another and living life. And while that analysis isn't bad, this is a breakup song through and through. Billy Joe tried being as level-headed as possible, so most of the lyrics stay true to that.
This Wednesday's
the time of your life is 100% sarcastic.
Real.
And if you don't believe me, look at Summer of '69 by Bryan Adams is not about the year. That's all I need to say about that. With Macarena by Los Del Rio and Gangnam Style by Psy, both being songs with dances attached to them, and the lyrics are not in English, it's fair to say that most people have no idea what they're dancing to. Macarena is about a woman named Macarena who cheats on her boyfriend with two of his friends while he's getting deployed into the military. I'm dead serious, so that is not a joke. Every Breath You Take by the Police is one of the more baffling examples here.
Yeah, no, it's not about.
Dance to the song at their wedding thinking it's a romantic love song, and it is so blatantly about a creepy stalker. Sting wrote this shortly after his divorce, and with the line, I'll be watching you spoken 14 times, I really don't know how people mess this one up. I'll be watching you. You're Beautiful by James Blunt is the same sort of thing. Couples fawning over this soft, touching track, but it was inspired by a breakup, and the subject matter is is frightening, not cute. You really have to wonder how many couples out there had stalker anthems playing at their wedding receptions.
You're beautiful.
Third Eye Blind, Semi-Charmed Life is a classic instance of that thing where the track is catchy and fast-paced, so you just assume that everything's happy underneath. But again, if you take one look at the lyrics without the music playing, you're going to be shocked. There aren't even hidden references here that could have multiple meanings. This is a very direct, raunchy song about a couple that becomes addicted to crystal meth. Forever Young by Alphaville is some signature 80s synth pop, and this was a classic song after it was sampled by Jay-Z and Mr. The track had a whole new generation of kids thinking it was about youth and coming of age, but isn't it funny how we've all sung the lyrics, "Are you gonna drop the bomb or not?" and it still wasn't abundantly clear that it was about the fear of nuclear war. Blackbird by the Beatles is one where I think everybody knows what the themes are about, but the origin of the song isn't as well known. Lennon and McCartney wrote the song after learning about the Little Rock Nine, the group of African-American students who challenged racial segregation in the public schools of Little Rock, Arkansas. The track's messages of being broken down and tired but still fighting on and trying to break through to something more have always been universal, but it's so inspiring knowing that the origin of this beautiful song is regarding the civil rights movement.
You were only waiting for this moment to arrive.
I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston is known as one of the most breathtaking love songs ever written, but it was originally by Dolly Parton and it wasn't a romantic love song at all. Dolly's first big break was working on the Porter Wagner Show alongside.
When I found out about that, I was like really sad because I didn't know it's Dolly Parton's song. It's actually made official something that I know that. But Dolly Parton, I know. I think Dolly Parton's I can't. Oh my god, brain. See, I'm tired. I can't even speak. Jeez. But I think Dolly Parton. I think Dolly Parton's voicing is way better than when Houston's voicing for real.
When it was clear that Dolly should move on to bigger and better things, she wanted to write Porter a song to show how much she appreciated all that he's done for her. She sat him down, sang him this farewell song, and went on to become one of the biggest superstars the world has ever seen. To close out this video, I just want to list a few more prime examples of irony, because spreading these stories was my goal with all of this song, explicitly making fun of something, but then that song ends up becoming the anthem for that very thing. Swimming Pools by Kendrick Lamar is about alcoholism, and people turned it into a song to drink to. Fight for Your Right by Beastie Boys was a satire of party anthems, and it became one of the biggest frat boy party anthems of all time. Song 2 by Blur was a parody of American grunge music, but it became the band's only big hit in the US. And I've made a whole video on this one, but similarly, Hook by Blues Traveler was about how lyrics don't matter and people will eat anything up as long as there's a catchy hook. That song had a catchy hook to test the theory, and it was the band's biggest hit. In the end, whether it comes to Baha Men and their feminist anthem, or a laundry list of songs being celebrated by the exact people who are being made fun of in the song, I just think it's interesting that within music, there's always more than meets the eye. Or ear, I guess. Let me know if you have any good examples of songs that are misunderstood in the comments, and thanks for watching. Hey, thank you for watching that video. This one was fun. I hope you liked it. If you want to support the channel, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on social media.
Hey guys, Patreon. Visit guys when it's on Patreon. Patreon. I think that's what my Patreon. Maybe? No, okay. Right then, let's go on to part 2.
Songs so catchy. Most people probably don't listen to the lyrics, but they should. So in my last video, I talked about songs that are misunderstood in one way or another, where people think they mean one thing but they really mean another, or they don't feel like there's anything to analyze at all, but there is actually a hidden message in there, and so on. Everybody loves hearing all those stories. I got tons of suggestions for a part 2, and that's what we're going to do today. With the same goals in mind of giving you the real backgrounds behind these tracks, pointing out some irony, and just generally dishing out some fun facts. Here we go. First and foremost, everybody in the comments wanted me to talk about Hey Ya by Outkast. This is one of music history's best examples of the song sounding fun, upbeat, and catchy, so people just assume that the lyrics follow suit. Nope, this iconic track is actually a dark tale about how people stay in unhappy relationships because that's what tradition tells them they should be doing. If what they say is nothing is forever, then what makes love the exception? So why are we so in denial when we know we're not happy here? But what sets this song apart from so many others that you'll see in this video is that Andre 3000 knew how people would react to Hey Ya. It sounds so joyous and entertaining that people were never going to care about the lyrics. Midway through, he predicts that happening by saying, "Y'all don't want to hear me, you just want to dance," and millions of people never realize what went over their heads. The Weeknd's Can't Feel My Face is one of those things where, sure, there's a little bit of a disguise, but it should not fool as many people as it does. It's like Clark Kent putting on glasses to hide the fact that he's Superman. On the outside, this is a vague love song about being infatuated with a girl. That perspective sent it to the top of the charts. It was a massive radio hit, and it was even nominated for a Kids' Choice Award, but even with the tiniest bit...
I guess that's what I test here on last night. With all the Windows, how did it test real when you play the video game? Excuse me, Ubisoft, instead of taking that, no. Y'all for Minecraft over testing, that's really, y'all just disrespectful.
Thinking it's comparing infatuation with a girl to a cocaine addiction. Good work, Nickelodeon. You know Randy Newman, the guy that made You Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story? You're going to want to buckle up for the story of his track Rednecks. I would assume that
some songs, small people.
Pixar song, and that's it. But Randy has a relatively controversial career as a singer-songwriter. Throughout his discography, he's written songs that are bullying little people, happily inviting slaves into the United States, glorifying violence against the LGBTQ community, and much more. But all of these are satirical songs written from the point of view of terrible, horrible human beings. You're supposed to be disgusted by the lyrics, not sing along with them. And I'm sure you know where I'm going with this. In all of the cases that I've listed so far, and especially with his song Rednecks, the very people that he's satirizing take the songs and use them as celebrations. Rednecks has lyrics that are anti-Semitic and extremely racist. The N-word is used more than a few times, and the context behind the talk show that he's referencing in the lyrics is super intense. But with all that in mind, Randy Newman had to stop playing the song in the South because people at his concerts were singing along to it like it was the national anthem. In the previous video, I talked about songs that people would not dance to at their weddings if they knew what they were actually about. Misery Loves Company. So here are a few more examples of stuff that isn't as romantic as you might expect. Lips of an Angel by Hinder is a power ballad that might feel intimate and lovey-dovey, but it's about wanting to cheat on your significant other with your ex. Sometimes I wish she was you. Billy Idol's White Wedding is pretty blatant about being anti-marriage, but I've seen plenty of stories about it being played during a reception just because it has wedding in the title. Nice day for a white wedding. It's understandable to want to include the hopeful strings from the Verve's Bittersweet Symphony when you're getting married, but trying to make ends meet, you're a slave to money, then you die, wouldn't be my ideal lyrics to hear during my first dance. And Possession by Sarah McLachlan is a baffling, bizarre case of misunderstood non-romance. This song was inspired by actual stalkers that were sending Sarah detailed letters about how they
No
were going to be together
stalker
forever.
one.
This chorus that's talking about holding her down and wiping away her tears is incredibly creepy. The song title is ominous enough on its own, but for whatever reason, people still dedicate it to their loved ones. On the opposite end of the spectrum, and trust me, I know this one sounds dumb, but it's true, people mistake Bob Marley's No Woman No Cry as a song for bachelors and the joys of being single. It's not No Woman No Cry, as in when I don't have a lady in my life, I'm happy. It's No Woman No Cry. He's comforting a woman near and dear to his heart. At first glance, Love Song by Sarah Bareilles is a typical track about a relationship's ups and downs. I'm not going to write you a love song because you asked for it because you need one. But in reality, this was basically a middle finger to her record label. They kept rejecting the songs that she was writing and bringing to them. They were pressuring her to make safer, radio-friendly songs. And in response, she came back with this radio-friendly song that was actually super passive-aggressive. In the end, this tongue-in-cheek track, born out of frustration and written in 30 minutes, ended up being her biggest hit ever. In a similar meta poking fun at the industry vein, we can look at Kids, Electric Feel, and Time to Pretend by MGMT. This is another one that people in the comments of the last video wanted me to talk about, and if you're interested in a more detailed explanation, check out Middle Eight's video on the band's history. The long story short is that MGMT started out as the management, two college kids making experimental noisy loops in their dorm room. Soon they started playing at house parties, but it was practically performance arts. They were improvising over the Ghostbusters theme song for hours on end. Eventually, these two artsy kids started writing the most stereotypical pop songs that they could imagine as a joke, with the end goal being to sell out as quickly as possible. The songs Kids, Electric Feel, and Time to Pretend became popular around campus. They put the tracks on their first EP. That's what got them a record deal, and 14 years and 3 albums later, their joke songs from college are still their most successful tracks. Eddie Grant's Electric Avenue is groovy, and it's one of those songs that you just have to dance along to when it comes on, but its origin story would make you think twice about doing so. The title refers to a street in South London that was the first market road to be lit by electricity. In the early 80s, there was a lot of tension in this area due to Caribbean immigrants being unfairly unemployed, poor, and falling victim to racist policing. This hostility led to the 1981 Brixton riot that left hundreds of people injured, buildings damaged, and vehicles burned. And while the lyrics of Electric Avenue are telling you this dark story, everybody's too busy dancing to realize. It was even featured in Pineapple Express. Feel Gooding by Gorillaz is about intellectual freedom, and in the music video, we get references to a corporate George Orwell Big Brother type atmosphere. So isn't it funny how this song, which is fighting for the little guy and going against the principles of big business, has been used in plenty of advertisements for major companies like Apple,
yeah,
with 99 Love Balloons by Nina and Reguera's Vamos a la Playa.
You can't win that song for me, I'm just saying. That song will always be a bust to me. You can't win that song for me. But I think I was saying, like, forgetting like the big businesses, excuse me, like Apple, McDonald's, I don't fucking know.
People aren't only confused by the whole "it sounds fun, so the lyrics probably are too" thing. They're also not in English, so you know Americans are bopping along to these things without a single thought going through their minds. We've got this German song that's about balloons and a Spanish song that's about going to the beach, right? I remember learning that phrase in school. But no, both of these are about the threats of the nuclear bomb. The Cold War was a crazy time. The Human League's Don't You Want Me sounds like somewhat of a breakup song, and that is the public perception of it. If you're half listening to the lyrics but then belting out the chorus, you're rooting for this guy after his girlfriend leaves him for bigger and better things. He's shooting a shot and you want the best for him. But once you actually analyze the verses and the pre-chorus, the story reads like a subtle but very real threat. Guy meets girl when she's a waitress in a cocktail bar. He turns her into someone new. 5 years later, she's successful, and this is where it gets bad. But don't forget, it's me who put you where you are now, and I can put you back down too. Don't you want me? You know I can't believe it when I hear that you won't see me. This on its own is controlling, and the dude sounds like an abuser. But once we get to, you think you've changed your mind, you better change it back or we will both be sorry, that is absolutely terrifying, yet we're all singing along like he's a knight in shining armor. To close all of this out, I'm going to speed through some very obvious examples that I have left over. My main point in the first video was, wow, there's always more to music than you might expect. But with these, I'm just begging audiences to pay a little bit more attention. Isn't She Lovely by Stevie Wonder is not a romantic love song. It's about the birth of his daughter, and in the full verse, there are long snippets of babies crying and Stevie's daughter Aisha in the bathtub. I can't believe I even have to say this one, but Hozier's Take Me to Church is not praising religion. It's about the ties between sexuality and humanity, and the music video was made in support of gay rights. Last Christmas by Wham is not a fun song about the holidays, it's about a breakup. Careless Whisper by...
Okay, guessing about some of these. I think Take Me to a Toast one. Because it's always about, you know, like Take Me to Toast and stuff, but... Jeez. But I can't get one that's off me, because that song is so good. I go back to what's on Hozier stuff, just saying. Because that Take Me to a song is so good. And again, like, I'm forgetting kick out one for me.
By George Michael is not a love song. It's about feeling guilty after cheating on your spouse. People mistake Everybody Hurts by R.E.M. as a track that's just wallowing in depression, but it's really the opposite. It's an inspiring song about overcoming your sadness, not succumbing to it. Everybody hurts. Yes, people, I hear you. Pumped Up Kicks by Foster the People is not about a fancy new pair of shoes. And finally, I never want to see another tweet of, oh, it's September 30th, time to wake up the Green Day guy. Billy Joe wrote a beautiful song about his dad dying, and now it's been decades of him getting traumatic time in his life. Like my father's gone to pass. Let me know in the comments which of these surprised you, and which of these you can't believe people keep messing up. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching that video. If you want to support the channel, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on social media at
and also,
you can buy my merch on Patreon. Thank you again. I'll see you soon.
I'll say it again. So this was really interesting. Like Take Me to Tours. They seem a lovely one. And so kind of saw me as well. So yeah, shout out to your let me start this guy quickly. Shout out to your Afro Media. Afro Media. I think something to say. So yeah, those are quick streams. I was so touching after ideas for the stream today. I'll probably do another stream tonight. Maybe I have to some bit more crazy. No, because he's asking, so I got you want some bits from him. So yeah. And now I was watching this until Wednesday, possibly on 2 minutes if I post another thing about Hackers wasn't no positive video yesterday, but I had like the hacker story or anything. So yeet. Hopefully, I'll post a video of it today, and if doesn't, I'll do a last video of last stream to it later. So yeet. Alright. My Watson. I guess I was quick streams. I was like tired and not feeling the greatest. So yeah. My Watson and yeah, subscribe. What's I have to say? Yeah, my single against these have gone this Wednesday, and I'm studying on up till I have to go home. There's no way that they are not gonna go home. Like, do not go home. I could be so shocked because this is like what? Anywho, my Watson and subscribe, like, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.